Hi, welcome to Tech Tool Tuesday. This episode is October 14th, 2014, and our topic is curating with Symbaloo. Curating has come a long way. It's not just for museums anymore. And so we're going to focus a little bit on that to start. Our learning goals for today is to understand what curating is and how you can use it as a teacher and a learner. In addition, you'll be able to increase your knowledge about various curation tools, but we'll be focusing primarily on Symbaloo. And as a final aspect to this Tech Tool Tuesday, you will be able to create your own Symbaloo account and demonstrate that you have a good understanding of the curation tool by sending me a mix that you've created yourself. So we all know that getting information off the internet is like taking a drink from a fire hydrant. The vast amount of information really is quite overwhelming. In the past, the internet was, before the internet was around, we would use analog items, papers and magazine articles and different things that we were collecting, and we would be able to put those into files if we wanted to organize them. And we kind of can still do that with some of our digital items, but there's so much more to what we can do with digital. So curating is about researching and finding things, but it's also about filtering and editing. In other words, unless you're going to be a pack rat, which maybe some of you are, you want to find the things that really work for you. So curating is about collecting, yes. It's also about organizing, sure enough. But we want to do it so that it makes sense and meaning to us. And in our age of connected learning, we also want to be able to exhibit and share this curation of items that we have been able to discover. We can readily do that now. It was much more difficult in the analog world. So digital information really is also constantly changing. We're updating websites all the time. We're getting new websites, new information, new web pages are coming up, and it's actually going from therefore a very static to a very constant transformation, and we need to keep up with that. It also is not easily put into just one file like a piece of paper would be able to be filed, because it has many labels, it has many characteristics, and in order to find it, we need to be able to tag it the way we want to. In addition, we don't just have one computer that we use. Many of you might be using Internet Explorer with that favorites or bookmarks, whatever they're calling it in Internet Explorer. And in fact, what happens then is that's great for work, but then you go home and you want to find something, or you're on your iPhone and you want to find something, and it's not available because it's only on that one computer. With our mobile devices, we need to have something that works across the board. And sure enough, yes, it's easy enough to go to Google and find the information that you need, usually. But sometimes it is difficult because it's been changed in that Google search result. And frankly, if we're using information a lot, using websites a lot, we want to have them easily accessible to us, that they're marked, we can find them anywhere we need them. We want to make it personalized for us. We also want to be able to, what we call, tag it with the labels that we use. Those are the descriptors that work for us. And so in the process, we'll really be focusing our time in the curation tool of Symbaloo. Symbaloo, Symbaloo.com, is one of many cloud-based sort of bookmarking tools, but it also allows us to personalize that and also share out to others and be able to take advantage of those who are willing to share with us. So what we're going to do is you're going to need to create a free account, I'm going to log in. When you sign in, you also can set this Symbaloo as a home page. So a lot of people like to do that. I choose not to, but you may do that. When you get to your first time, I believe they provide you with some already what they call web mixes, some already prepared web mixes. Now yours may not look quite like mine because I've personalized mine by adding some photographs in the back. But this will show you kind of what a Symbaloo page looks like. And what it does is it allows you to create these little tiles, as they call them, surrounding an area that's usually a search engine of some kind, where you have your favorites. So if I click on here, I would get my CNN news feed. If I click here, I'll go directly to Flickr. So in other words, it's one page and it's visual that allows you to see the favorite web pages that you have in an instant. And that's really very handy. But what's more powerful about this is that you can create your own, and you can also create it based on subjects that you're teaching that then you want to share with students, or if you're doing your own research and you want to have some focus to come back to what that particular concept or idea was about. And it's actually pretty simple to add a new web mix. You just go up to the plus and you name it. Before I start you on a brand new one though, let me also share with you that you can search for already existing web mixes. So if I were going to search for some iPad apps, I'll put in the rest of that search for productivity. I can click here. I can look at the various ones that pop up that other people have already created. And if I wanted to, for example, look at this one, 45 apps in 45 minutes. This was a presentation done, but I could see some of the apps that were being used. I could actually just go ahead and add this web mix to my own list of web mixes, and all of those will show up here. Okay, so even though it's got a little lock on it, which indicates that that belongs to someone else, so I can't make any changes to it, but I can click on any of these. I'm going to click on this one because I know it's a web page. I can click on any of these tiles and it will take me right out to that particular web page. So that's pretty cool that you're able to get those just in an instant. You can always also get rid of them whenever you don't want them. And then let's go back to adding one, and we'll type in one called, let's call this, I started one already, but we'll do this for demonstration purposes, digital citizenship. And I'm going to call it remix, and say add, and it will start you on a brand new web mix. So it has nothing in here. We'd have to click on here to add a new tile. And when I click on here, it's going to ask me to create a tile, and I will then need to put in the address of the website. So I know that Common Sense Media is a good, I wasn't sure if it was .org or .com, is a great resource for digital citizenship. So I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to copy that website. I'm going to come back and click on here, and I'm going to paste that website in here. And I'm going to call it Common Sense Media. And while I was doing that, it went and found an icon that it thought was pretty appropriate, and it is actually sort of the symbol that they use, but you can also click anything else that fits for you, different colors, different icons, etc. Right now we'll just go back to, let's see if I can find just a color that I'll use. Okay. And I can click here to show text, which will actually have it listed underneath there as well. I can save. And there's my tile. Now, that means that when I click on here, it'll take me directly to that website, which is a very nice thing to have. You can continue to add tiles around, and then to make it a little more interesting, you can come over here to, from here I can edit, and I can change my wallpaper so that I'm just not looking at a dark background. So if you'd like to have something a little more interesting, you can select a solid color. There's some different pictures. We'll select the bamboo, and you can also upload your own image if you'd like. You can make the web size a different size, so if you wanted to make it less or you wanted to make it more, you can do that. You can change it so that it's not see-through, okay, because sometimes things get a little bit lost in the see-through. And so lots of options there. But hopefully you can develop something that would look similar to what I developed here, which is a public tools on curation. And so this is the haiku deck that I just went through on the presentation. And here are, you can see, many additional tools, as well as much more information about using curation tools in your work. Now, I think that it would be worthwhile to try it for yourself. And then if you like this particular curation tool, because it is visual and colorful, it's really quite nice to use with students if you want to share a handful of particular websites with students. So hopefully you have some good information that you can pick up out of that, and let me know if you have any questions. When you've completed your Symbaloo and you're ready to share that, there's a little share signal icon up here, and click here, and then if you go to your details, it will give you, make sure it's public and available in the gallery, and there is a place where you can share directly with an email here, and it put my email in, COLEMAMA, and then send that to me. And I look forward to seeing what you create. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks with more flippin' tools on the next episode of Tech Tool Tuesday.